The Tree Spirit and the Old Woman. Once upon a time, in a certain village, there lived an old woman. The old woman lived with her son and daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law was not fond of the old woman. She constantly gossiped to her husband and argued, saying, "This old woman is too old and eats too much rice. Therefore, we cannot keep her in this house for much longer." Finally, the daughter-in-law's words prevailed. The foolish son, obeying his wife's words, decided to abandon the old woman in the forest to be eaten by tigers. The next day, the son took the old woman into the forest. He tied her with a rope at the foot of a large tamarind tree and left her there. When night fell, the tigers in the forest, smelling a human, approached the tree. At that moment, the tree spirit suddenly appeared and said, "Hold on, you tigers. Let me first test what kind of person this old woman is. If she is a good person, I cannot allow you to eat her. If she is not a good person, then I will allow you to eat her." The tigers obeyed the tree spirit's words. The tree spirit took a chicken feather and tickled the old woman's nose. The old woman's nose tickled, and she sneezed, muttering, "Achoo, achoo, O Buddha, O Buddha." Upon hearing that sound, the tree spirit said to the tigers, "Well, didn't you hear? This old woman is a good person. Therefore, I cannot allow you to eat her. You may go back." The tigers then went away. The old woman neither heard nor saw the tree spirit and the tigers conversing. She only saw the tigers arrive and then leave. After a while, the old woman fell asleep. When she woke up, she saw that it was dawn. The ropes that had bound her were also untied. She also found a pot of gold placed at her feet. The old woman carried the pot of gold and happily returned to the village. However, the old woman did not return to her cruel son and daughter-in-law. She broke up the gold, bought a large, beautiful house, and lived a life of complete luxury. When the daughter-in-law heard that the old woman had returned alive and was not only alive but also wealthy, she became extremely jealous. So, she sent her husband to ask the old woman how she had obtained the pot of gold. The husband went to the old woman and asked her the full story of how she got the pot of gold. Although the old woman knew her son had tried to kill her, out of a mother's love for her son, she told him how she had gotten the pot of gold. That afternoon, the daughter-in-law pleaded with her husband to take her into the forest and tie her to the tamarind tree. The husband also obeyed her words. The daughter-in-law waited patiently. When night fell, the tigers arrived. However, the daughter-in-law was not afraid of the tigers at all. Instead, she was overjoyed, thinking that she would soon get a pot of gold. At that moment, the tree spirit arrived. He said to the tigers, "Hold on, you tigers. Let me first test what kind of person this woman is." Then, he tickled her nose with a chicken feather. At that, the greedy daughter-in-law sneezed, saying, "Achoo, achoo, where's my pot of gold? Where's my pot of gold?" The tree spirit became angry. He said to the tigers, "This woman is not a good person. She is an evil person who is extremely greedy. Therefore, you may eat her." And then he disappeared. Due to her disrespect towards elders and her extreme greed, the daughter-in-law did not get the pot of gold. Instead, she lost her life. Finally, the lesson from this story is don't be greedy and respect to your parents if you don't want to be daughter-in-law in this story. Please like and subscribe for more tales.